day, everybody. Welcome back to the Glory Reds podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito. And it's game day. Chelsea versus Manchester United. How are we going to be looking? And then we're also going to be talking about Ineos and this blunder that they done. And I know we are behind. I know. Apologies for that. Apologies for coming back to you guys so late. We've been experiencing load shedding in Tanzania. So I apologize for that. Please forgive me. And let's jump straight into it. So, Ineos, guys, the guys that were supposed to save our world, save our team, take us back into the promised land. All that, yada, yada, Ineos. What have they done? What is their latest spectacular blunder? Well, they are not paying for anybody going to the Europa League Final. You know, if there was one moment, right? If there was one moment in our entire season, in our entire season where nobody's looking at anything in the sense of like, nah, we need to financial this is a final. We've made it into a final. We are unbeaten in Europe. I know to certain people, they can easily say that, well, you guys are playing in the Europa League and it's not that competitive, and that's why you guys are unbeaten. But, you can really look down on the situation that we're in. But the sole fact remains that Manchester United is playing in the final. We are in the final. And whether you like it or not, we are unbeaten. The Real Madrids and all these Arsenals, everybody else that played in the Champions League, everybody that did what, whoever played in Europe got smacked up at one point in their season, this season. We have not. We are yet to experience defeat. Now, Ineos, maybe I guess to them, they think that they've done enough. Because in the summer, they brought Xerxes, they brought De Ligt, they brought Mazraoui, they brought Yoro, they brought Aiden, they brought Chido, they brought Ugarte, they brought all sorts of players. So in their mind, I think they think for this first season they did enough. That's why I even have this strange believing that during the January transfer window, they didn't push to get any more signings because they feel, I don't know. Now, yes, we are losing money. Yes, a lot of stuff is going on against us. But isn't this the moment where these guys need our full support, need our backing, need the fans to be like, you know what? All right, man, we understand. We see you trying to be nice, trying to do things the right way. So, you know what? We're going to cut you some slack. This is what I thought. But Ineos just went outright and said, listen, we're not paying for anybody going to the Europa League. Like, you guys can miss us with that. Then you look at everybody else who is going to be playing a major final. You look at PSG. Their president has bought 600 tickets. It's got these, 600. And then you look at the other team, Inter. You look at Chelsea, Betis, all these guys. Like, everybody's sorting out their team, like preparing to go and have an epic final. But we, Ineos, and our people are like, nah. And you know what? If we happen to win the Europa League, we're just going to have a barbecue. Yeah, there's not going to be any parade. There's no money. We don't have money. Like, literally, the club that's supposed to celebrate and do its thing because it's Manchester United, it has that gravitas. We are not able to do that because we are going through the financial difficulties that we are going through. Ineos, instead of taking the people that are close to the team to the game, they've opted not to even indulge this conversation. I don't know what you guys think about this, but for me, if we lose this final, just know that the bad juju was put from the people up above. And when I say the bad juju, I don't mean that this guy Jim sat there and he started going like trying to do his Untagati and juju stuff. No. What I'm saying is not paying for the staff, not trying to create an atmosphere of family and that we're going to win, like this togetherness. That's so fact that they didn't do it, and they're expecting these boys to go out there and win them so they can save their fucking careers. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Like, do you see what I'm saying? There's bad juju. You want the boys to succeed, but you need to give an incentive. You need to push them. You need to show them that they've got the full backing of everybody. But now, for you to show that, the first thing that you do is like, you're not even talking about taking people to the final. The staff. It is the manager himself, and bless him, he's a class act. Big ups to Ruben Amorim for doing something like this, because maybe the players and the staff and everybody else that's actually involved they need some sort of motivation. They need some sort of like push, like sort of get in, boys. If we're not getting it from the people above, thank you, Ruben Amorim, for instilling that sort of thing. But it's not enough. It's not enough. The bad juju of not... Look, we've had a pathetic season. Like, if we had lost a couple of more games, we would have been in that relegation zone. Do you understand? Ineos, regardless of what they want to think, they brought in the players, yes, blah, blah, blah. They disrupted the team to the point where we found ourselves in this situation. They need to own up to disrupting the team. They sacked Erik ten Hag, who, by the way, now is looking like an angel. Erik ten Hag is looking like God sent. And I'm not taking a dig at Ruben Amorim, because I like Ruben Amorim and I have already chosen. He's my coach right now. But let's rewind a little bit at Erik ten Hag, the bold fraud, huh? The Netherlands Ole, the guy who doesn't know how to look. That man won 2 trophies in 2 full seasons with Manchester United that you can't even understand. And this was even with them playing the formation that they know. The 4-2-3-1. Erik ten Hag was doing well. Look, go back. And I know people are not going to buy this. Go back. Right up until the moment, before the Ipswich game, Ruben Amorim's first game. I think there was an international break, right? Then we go back. I think we played some games. Just go and look at how we were doing. I mean, at some point, Onana was the golden glove. Yes, now we cannot say, but at some point, during Erik ten Hag's time, Onana was the golden glove leader, because we had not conceded a lot of goals. He had clean sheets. Now, I know by me bringing this up, it's almost like I'm taking a dig at Ruben Amorim. I am not. I'm trying to make a point. We sacked Ruben Amorim. And we, the fans, actually helped in that sacking. Those fans that didn't want him, that kept saying he's a ball forward, he doesn't know what he's doing. Nah, get him out. Why is he playing this player? Why is he not playing this player? Hey. And for you, that's stuck with Erik ten Hag right up until the end. There is vindication. Because you look at what's happening with Ruben. Because I remember specifically at the time when everybody was on Erik ten Hag's head. I said, look, I understand your frustration, and I can completely... we can have a conversation about what's happening. But at the same time, I also don't understand where you're coming from, because your aggression is too much. You want this new manager to come in. Fair. But you need to understand that the guy that's coming is coming with a different system, different everything. These boys need to get acclimatized to that. They need to get used to it. there's going to be a period where it's not going to make sense. Are you willing to go through all of that? I remember asking people, I'm like, look, if you want to get rid of Erik ten Hag so badly, fine. But you need to be patient with the next guy. You need to be. It makes no sense that we're not patient with Ruben Amorim. Especially now, when you look at the team at the moment is, they got the system, they understand it. The only issue is the players, certain players, attitude, whatever you want to call it. Maybe they don't belong at Manchester United. Maybe they don't have the characteristics of a Manchester United player. Maybe they don't have that heart, that thing that we all United fans say, he's a United player. When we're looking at Cunha, we look at Cunha and be like, he's a United player. He can come and do something here. We looked at Bruno. This guy has got, he's got the pedigree of being a United player. Look at him now. He's one of the best coveted players in the world right now, playing in the shittiest Manchester United team that has, I don't know. But here we are. Now everybody's turning on Ruben. Because of what? Do you watch football? Do you understand football? Fuck's sakes. This man is not there setting up our team to lose. Absolutely not. I don't know how many times we can keep on saying this. He doesn't set up our teams to lose. No. It is the players that just go out there and take a piss. They go out there and take a real piss. And this week has been a big week for us. We're approaching the end of the season. We're playing the second last game against Chelsea today. Next week, Europa. Things are happening. Is it next week or the other week? Europa. But soon, next week, Europa final. After that, after we win the Europa, or whether you're gonna be playing in the Super Cup or what, against who, the Champions League. We are at that point where there needs to be some sort of vibe, but we can't because everybody's shitting on the manager. There is an uncertainty right now around Manchester United. And a lot of people have come in and started saying that now we are the underdogs. No, we are not the underdogs. We are going to win. We should win. I'm not taking myself there. Underdogs, not dogs, whatever dogs, big dogs, small dogs. Yo, we are dogs. We're going to go and duke it out there. But the one thing I'm not going to accept is this. Our players giving off the same vibe. Because look, we are playing against Tottenham. Tottenham have managed to send us to our grandparents 3 times this season. They have managed to give us a proper spanking this season. Proper, I'm exaggerating. I should not pump them up that much. But they have beaten us 3 times this season. That is a lot. And not get any leg back. And then the only opportunity that we can get leg back is the final. Whoa. There must be some PTSD with the players because they know there was some sort of psychological advantage. Tottenham had some psychological advantage over us this season. Is that thing going to carry on into the final or what? You see, these are the things that are nervy. You look at Big Ange. He's talking about how important this trophy is to Tottenham. Look, I don't care what Manchester United people say. I don't care what they're on about. But this trophy means a lot to Tottenham, especially when you look at the history of the club. You know what I'm saying? Tottenham not winning trophies. It's a big deal. So if they were to win this Europa, it would be huge. And then you look, and then on the flip side, you hear stories of Manchester United. If we win this thing, it's not going to define our season. That doesn't mean that we've won anything. Are you fucking joking? This is a European final. Prize money. An opportunity to get into the bigger stage. Are you kidding me? Saying that it's small. We're trying to play it down. Make it look like, it's not all that. Are you joking? Are you joking? People are saying if we win this thing, it's not a good season. Fair. But we've won a trophy. We've managed to beat certain people and got to where we are. That is, we don't take it lightly. You know, the same thing that they're doing, taking this lightly, is the same way they were taking Erik ten Hag's success at Manchester United lightly. He won the Carabao. Nah, it's a small trophy. Manchester United should be winning big trophies. Cool. Next season, he wins FA Cup. You know, Manchester United, you've won, yes. When everybody else is winning it, doing it, it's not a big deal. But us, it's like, we're not supposed to win any trophies because we're Manchester United. We've hogged on. We've held on to trophies for the longest time. Like, we've been hogging the trophy cabinets for the longest time. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool just equaled us with the Premier League. They are more than us in the Champions League. I don't even want to get into the whole FA Cup and Carabao because I don't. Are they? They are equal with us and they are more in Europe than us. That already just fucking sent me into this another story for another day. But you see what I'm talking about. So Manchester United, we have never needed, so like, if there was a time where we needed support more than anything, is right now. We have got issues. We've just brought in a new manager who has taken on a mammoth task in bringing Manchester United to where it needs to be. But the only way he could have done that, he had to dismantle the team. He had to break it down. He had to bring and introduce new tactics, new formation. It was a disaster waiting to happen. But we are here. We are in a final. And people are taking a piss. People are saying, if Ruben loses this, she should be sacked. Are you fucking joking? Sacked, and then who do you bring in? Who? Are you going to go back and bring Erik ten Hag? Like, what dumb bullshit is that? Anyway, let's talk about Chelsea. Chelsea today, in my mind, okay, so Ruben Amorim has been speaking. And I'm not going to quote his words exactly, but I'm going to paraphrase and say whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? Ruben Amorim wants to remain competitive. He's upset. He is upset at the team. He is upset at the performances in the Premier League. He just can't catch a break, Ruben Amorim, especially when it comes to the Premier League. He's not worried about the Europa because he says the Europa, these boys have shown him a different side to them. He says, we're not playing well, but we're winning. And these guys, there's a different sense of urgency when it comes to the Europa. When it comes to the Premier League, these guys are like, they don't care. And that has been bothering him. That has pissed him off. You look at all the interviews. I think Ruben Amorim this week alone has done 4 interviews, if not more. He did one with Sky Sports. He's done the post-match press conference and the pre, like he has just been doing interviews after interviews after interviews. And in the one interview in the Sky Sports, that one was particularly interesting to me because Ruben is a human being, by the way. He's not superhuman. He's not bionic. He's not something from a lab. Nah, he's human. And that's the one thing I love about him. And I know that's a weird thing to say, but then you see him sit there and then he's communicating about the issues and the problems in the club. And you be like, my guy, like, I get you. Like, man, I get you. You like, and I understand why you're sort of holding back because you really don't want to put all the players on. You don't want to put the players on blast and make the fans turn on them. And then it becomes a different kind of situation because then now we're not focusing on anything else. We're focusing on the players. So he was really trying in his power to protect these players from, I guess, being criticized or whatever. But he keeps on mentioning this thing about a feeling. He says there's this feeling, there's this thing that is hovering, that there are fundamental issues. He keeps on referring to this thing, this feeling. And every time he uses this feeling, you can tell that, this feeling will not leave if you do not uproot certain roots or certain whatevers. Like, if you don't get rid of certain players, this thing that he's talking about will not bounce. It will not bounce. It will not leave. So he kept on insisting that, look, in the Premier League, like for example, like he doesn't understand where there's not that urgency. He's like, look, we're not playing well in the Premier League, and I get that. And even in the Europa League, we're not playing particularly well. But in the Europa League, there's that sense of urgency. Like if these guys score, they know that they need to win so they can go. And he doesn't even understand whether it is because of the financial situation of the club, whether the players are trying to protect themselves. He can't seem to. It's bothering him. It's bothering. And I completely understand the gaffer, because even I am also trying to figure this thing out. I was not crazy in predicting that I wanted Manchester United to be in the top 10 or in the top 6. With Erik ten Hag, I guarantee we're going to be in the top 10. Now, by me saying that, it is because I understood that these guys are going to get the job done. Like, there are players that are going to get the job done. And you see the season play. You look at the Crystal Palace game. You look at the Tottenham game. You look at the Liverpool game. That Liverpool first game, I think it was at home, where we get beat 3-0, where Casemiro's like pushed over and the ball is taken away from him. You look at that game and you'll be like, what the fuck? What was happening? Were people stronger than us? Were they better than us? Cool. What was happening with us? Why didn't, what was going on? So then you look at some games, we go there and we smash the team. Like, it's crazy. We play good football. Then we just revert to something else. And this thing, it's really bothering Amorim. Like, it is messing with him. He can't seem to understand. That's why you are getting all these radical stories of like, Ruben's ruthless plan, wanting to get rid of players. I'm pretty sure that's what he would love to do. If he had it his way, he would do that. But that's not going to be the reality. That's not going to be the reality. Yes, we can get rid of players. We might cut some players, but it's not going to be the whole fucking squad. So I think Ruben should go strong with this game. We're playing Chelsea. We need the points. He wants to be competitive. The gaffer mentions that, look, we're gonna take risk, but at the same time, we also need to be wary of the final. There are players that need to be managed, the minutes, to check which zones they're in, whether it's green, orange, red zone. Everybody, he's hoping that everybody will be fit for the final, but at the same time, they want to be competitive. He mentioned something that was very, very interesting. The time when Euro picked up the injury, there was a journalist that asked him in the press conference. He was like, he mentioned that when he took out the Euro, he also immediately took out Shaw. And I remember at the time thinking about it and thinking, I know why. And I was just waiting for him to say it. And then lo and behold, he said it. They asked him, and he even says it in a very cheeky, smiley way, like, yeah. He's like, look, that was a precaution. And understandably so, because it's like, whoa. And so, like, I've looked at the way he's made substitutions. Yeah, there's some that have been a little bit questionable, but most of Ruben Amorim's changes have been good and have been in the beneficial of the players and the club. So I have been happy about that. But now, here is my starting lineup. This is the team that I believe should do the job at Chelsea. This team. So in the goalies, we've got Onana. These guys, by the way, this team is based. I picked it because these guys cannot stay this whole week without playing football. And up until the final, it makes no sense. They'll rust. Like Casemiro. I told you about Case. Case needs to keep on going. If he chills way too long, it becomes a problem. So I went strongish because we will have some time to rest and recover, and we can even do some substitutions, give some time to certain players. Chelsea have not been particularly good. They were at some point in this season, they were flying. They actually looked like they were the club that was going to actually contend with either Liverpool or Arsenal, but they fell off. And they didn't fall far off, they're still in the top, right? They're still in the top 5, in the top 6. Their players maybe are tired. I don't know. Maybe they're young. I think it's they're young. They don't have a lot of experienced players with them in there to help guide Chelsea to where they are. Now, with that being said, as you can see, I've got Onana at the back, and based on our injuries, my defense is Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw. Shaw was rested. We can't put Euro in there because he just picked up that injury. We know that Aiden Heaven has traveled with the guys, but he has not yet featured with these guys for a long time. So we know he cannot start this game, right? Licha, we know he's still out there. So we've got no defenders apart from Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw right now. We have Friedrichsen, but we took out Friedrichsen because I think it was Brentford. He was substituted because I feel like people felt like the goals were going through him, and maybe that's why even Ruben Amorim substituted him that day because he didn't want him to be that kid that. He didn't want to put too much pressure on him or whatever. Anyway, in the midfield, we've got Casemiro, Ugarte. These guys need to play. They need to get their job. Maybe if we can get them 70 minutes, 60 minutes, it's fine. It's fine because we don't want them to pull anything or any whatever, but they can play. And then on the left, we have Dogu. I have Dogu, but you know what? I've been seeing that Dogu is misbehaving. I understand a lot of people like to give them time. This first year, um, you need to support him. He's 20 years old, but there are certain behaviors that you just need to nip in the bud from the beginning. And he's exhibiting a particular behavior that I just don't vibe with. I don't like. Pass the ball, cross the ball. That's your job. When you get your opportunity to shoot and score, it has to be an opportunity and moment that you actually believe you're going to do it. Not all fucking time where you take away opportunities from the main guys who can actually do the job. Now I'm saying this because of what Dogu did in the previous games. But at the same time, I like the kid. Very hardworking. I just wish he would stop falling a lot more. This Danish thing, maybe it's a thing for Danish players, but we've not seen Eriksen do it. But Højlund, Dogu, they need to stop falling all the fucking time and trying to get free kicks and shit. They should stop that. We are men. We need to play the game. And then in the number 10 position, I've got Bruno and Ahmad. I'm sick and tired of putting Garnacho there. I'm not going to put Garnacho there. I'm not. And I'm saying that not because I hate Garnacho, but no, Garnacho needs a lot of opportunities to score. We don't have that luxury. I think from the get-go, let's just go hard and strong. And I want Ahmad in that number 10 position because if we put him on that full-back position, that wing-back position, we are depriving we are depriving the attack of his capabilities. We are stinging ourselves the opportunity for somebody to score goals for us. Like we are literally doing that. Because that wing-back position, it is demanding. He has to drop, he needs to defend, and he also needs to attack. Now, if you know Ahmad the way we all know him, you know that boy loves to defend. He will run. And when he's playing in that wing-back position, he doesn't attack the box that often because it's a long distance. You understand? You understand? You have to defend back here and then you have to go in support. So whenever he is there in those positions and then they don't pass him the ball, I always lose my shit because I know Ahmad is that guy. You just need to give him he will sort things out. Create. He needs to be given the time. But if you waste the time and they close him down, it becomes a different situation. So Ahmad, I prefer him in that number 10 position where he can drift in that midfield as well, help out, take the ball. He can also drift out wide and help whoever it is to be Mazraoui, and then we move from there. So I would like Ahmad in that number 10 position. Striker, it's Højlund. Unfortunately for us, he's the only one that we've got. If Xerxes was in this fit, I would have put Xerxes. I wanted to put Cheeto in there. I would start Cheeto, but at the same time, we don't know what's happening. So I'll pick Rasmus Højlund. I'm not particularly happy with him right now. I'm not vibing with Rasmus Højlund. I don't know, and you know what the crazy thing about Rasmus Højlund is I don't think he's gonna get better. than this. I don't think there is any. I don't think he's going to turn into a Haaland or into a Lewandowski, or I don't see it. I'm sorry, I don't see it. The characteristics are supposed to start showing. You understand? Like we are supposed to start having an idea of what kind of striker this guy is. I can't tell you the kind of striker that Rasmus is. I can't tell you. And I played striker. I don't know if he's a target man. I don't know if he's that lone nine. I don't know if he's a center forward. I don't know if he's a super striker. I don't know if he's an attacking striker, as an attacker, but he's playing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if he's an unchanged. I don't know. He's just a number 9, big, strong, has got a left foot, and he shoots. But if I can tell you, I'm getting the sense that he's gonna be like Aguero, or he's gonna be like this. I don't get it. Which is why the Delap situation is particularly interesting, because Delap looks like he's going to come to Manchester United. He scored more goals than Rasmus Højlund, so that's, I don't want him to be our priority, but the guy scored more goals than Rasmus Højlund. I'm sorry, he did. He did. He looks more of a striker than Rasmus Højlund. When I say more of a striker, I'm not taking anything away from Rasmus Højlund. I mean, he's more hungry. He goes a lot. Like, he's playing like a striker. Rasmus is not. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm insensitive. I don't know. But yeah, that's the starting lineup. And honestly, today's game, I don't want to lose it. The boys shouldn't lose it. Like, I think Gaffer's the message was clear, that these guys need to, this thing of flip-flopping and this attitude or this feeling, they need to get rid of it, because we cannot have it during the final. We can't have that thing of like, today these guys want to play. We can't. And mind you, Tottenham have got a couple of injuries and stuff. Good news to us, but that's a story for another day. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Glorious Podcast. It's your boy, Don Benito.